Hello, everyone. And JU Dash Ice is up and about. And yes, it's a lovely Tuesday, but it's kind of chilly. The whole week is supposed to be chilly. But what can you say? Mother Nature. Yeah, I was reading that it was going to be really cold in New York City and other places. Well, folks, you know what to do. Dress warm and make sure you cook, eat some nice warm food, and drink some hot tea or whatever. Just don't burn your mouths. And, life goes on. And yeah, allegedly, Elon Musk, 4-year-old, everybody's talking about it. He shut the president down. That little kid told him he's not the president. His dad is the president. And then he took his fingers and he was wiping the boogers out of his nose on the desk. Now, most of us as parents, we would have scolded that little boy. But Elon Musk, hell no. Elon Musk just continued talking. You can't hardly recognize what he was saying. He was just rambling on. And the little boy, you could tell he was bored. Smart little boy, but kind of rude to me. But anyway, who am I to say that? His dad is one of the richest men in the whole world, if not the richest. And good old President Donald Trump just sat there with his head held down like this. Oh my goodness. I know he must have felt smaller than a pebble on the ground. Most people allegedly are saying, this little boy had to have heard that and talking. To be quite frank, whether he did or not, little kids these days, it really doesn't matter if the person is talking about the subject or not. Their minds are so equipped, they just come out of their mouths and say any old thing, anything. It shocks you, the things that little kids say. I'm telling you. So maybe he wants his dad to be the president. Who knows? And what can I say? Elon Musk is a very intelligent man himself. So who knows? Who knows? Anyway, yeah, I had a good chat yesterday with a friend of mine, a co-worker. He moved here to Florida, just a little outside Tampa. And we was chatting about friends, old friends and stuff like that. It was a real nice, interesting conversation. And he happened to mention that like longtime friends or people you knew, nowadays there's no such thing, you don't hear from them or nothing like that, even if you try to stay in contact with them. And you know what I told him? You're right about that. I said, people, not because of the coronavirus coming in and closing down a lot of shops. When I say shops, I'm talking about people also. But that's how people are. Over the years, I've noticed that people you knew, friends or family or whatever, they stay to themselves. They don't really have much mingling to do with other people. And I told him, I said, you just have to move on in life. You just have to move on. Some people move away, some people stay and, hibernate, whatever you want to call it. And I told him, you have to learn to say no to people. You have to learn to say no. No is a hard word to say, but you have to say no and mean it. He also said, some friends, they want to come by and visit you, hang with you. And then after they do that, you don't hear or see them again. Excuse me. I said, yeah, they just wanted to see how you are living, what you have. And then a lot of them are angry because you are doing 100% better than them, or 80 or 90% better than them, and they're jealous. Well, guess what? People like that, friends or family, you don't need them in your circle. You don't need those kind of people in your circle. They just come in because they want to knock you down. They want to see you fall down and never get back up. People like that you don't need in your circle. You stay away from those kind of people. And if anyone call you asking you for money or can you do this for me or whatever, you have to learn to say no. Choose who you want to say yes to, but don't say yes to everyone. You have to learn to say no. That 2-letter word no, it's hard to say, but you have to. It took me a long time before I started saying no. But now, it's the easiest word ever that could come out of my mouth. Because I got to see how people really are, especially ones that you think were close to you. You don't really know anyone. You might live with a person all your life, knew them all your life, but you don't really know them. You don't know what is going through their mind. You don't know what they had in your mind from all those years. People be hating on you for years, and they will smile in your face and pretend that they like you. But deep in their heart, they hate the hell out of you. And one of these days, it comes out. It shows, it comes out. They tell people they hate you, they dislike you. But all along, you have been noticing the way how they treated you and stuff like that. They just pretended when they were around certain family members or certain people that they really like you, but deep in their heart, they didn't. Those kind of folks, believe you me, you have to stay away from, because you don't know what they have in their mind and what they can and will do to you. They would take you out and then try to lie and blame it on something else. You cannot trust anyone. I mention this word all the time in my videos. Trust. You cannot trust everyone. And you have to learn to say no. And do not eat from everyone. I don't care who the hell they are. Do not eat from everyone. Do not drink from everyone. You know, like how some people, you might be sitting down and you and a friend or family member, y'all sitting by a table or wherever, and you might sip off of the person's juice or soda or whatever it is. Don't do that. You don't know what that person have. I don't care how much you think you know them. You don't know if that person has an illness or not. You don't know what the hell this person have. Don't be taking their straw and sipping on it, putting it in your mouth. Don't even drink from the glass. Don't even eat from behind them. I remember this lady, Millicent Beckford, Jamaican. Used to be friend. I don't know if she's still alive or not. I remember going by her one day, and this young lady, she became friends with. She was a nurse's aide or something like that. Anyway, the woman had just finished eating some food that she made. And she came to her house and she brought the bowl with her with the food. And it was just a little bit in there. And she had some bone in there. A lot of folks, they like to suck on their bones and stuff like that, especially West Indians. So, she finished eating the stuff and she dropped the bone in the bowl. And do you know what Millicent did? Millicent looked at me and then she took the bowl and she picked up the bones one by one and she was sucking behind this lady, sucking the bone. And she's looking at me like to show me, I don't know what the hell she was trying to show me, because to me, she was being very ignorant doing that. Anyway, the kind of look she gave me was like one of those shady looks, but I said to myself, this lady is really stupid. Sucking this bone after this lady ate off of it. She don't know what this lady have, what she can catch, but she's trying to throw shade on me by doing that. So deep inside, I was laughing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this lady is ignorant. But that's just what I'm trying to say. Don't be eating behind somebody and all this kind of stuff. Because later on, guess what? She and the same lady weren't friends anymore. You don't know what this lady had, but you sitting up there sucking on the bone that she just ate the meat off of. What you trying to prove? You and her are good friends? You like her that much or whatever? That was freaking ignorant. It was ignorance. They not even friends anymore. Never. They weren't friends anymore. So people, you have to be wise. I don't care how old you are. Little kids do stuff like that. And if you see little kids doing it, stop them, correct them. But grown-ups doing stupidness like that, come on now. You want friends that bad that you're going to suck behind them, they food or whatever, they leftover food? Come on, be for real. Ain't nobody that important for me to be taking they leftover and eating behind them and sucking the bones and all this foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Never. So y'all have to stop doing that. You want friends so bad? Love yourself. You don't need no friends. You don't. Seriously, you came in this world alone and you're going to go out alone. And no two people remain friends forever. Some remain friends for a long time, but there's no such thing as forever. For real. So yeah, that's what me and him, we was chatting about, And, like he lives down here now and he's away from a lot of people that he knew. So I guess, he's sitting there thinking back, but life goes on, you get older and you get wiser. You're supposed to get wiser and you just move on with your life. And what I like about here in Florida, you're not in and around and up into every and anybody. People mind their business here. You know what I'm saying? People get up and they do what they have to do and they live their lives. In other places, like New York especially, everybody and their mother is up into each other. Everybody and their mother. Not just New York City, but I'm saying New York City because I've lived there for so many years, from a young teenager to a grown woman. And I'm very observant and I've seen a lot, heard a lot and seen a lot. Might not have done a lot, but I seen and heard a lot. You meet people from all parts of life in New York City, especially. And you make them your friend, adoptive family, all this kind of stuff. But as time go on, most of them disappear. They just disappear. They move, they die, or they might still be living there, but they just don't want to have nothing to do with you. And a lot of that is because in New York City and a lot of places, people don't try to advance in life. They sit around and they watch what the other person is doing. They have some that is very, very smart. You know, they get up and they go out and do something constructive, like get a job, you know, work, make money so they can take care of their personal belongings and whatever. Then they have a lot of them that just stay at home, hang out on the block, hang out by the store, do all sorts of stuff that they ain't even supposed to be doing. They selling this, they selling that, you know, they borrowing this, they borrowing that. They might not even know you, but they sure gonna ask you for $1 or $2 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody is homeless out there. There's a lot of folks that dress the part and they go out there and they pretend. I'm telling you. I've seen so much while I was in New York. They dress the part. And mind you, I used to work the evening shift, so I used to come home late in the night. So I used to see all sorts of stuff on the subway, on the street, oh my God, it would spin your head. Lots of people used to ask me, aren't you scared coming in these times? To be quite frank, I was a little bit, but I got used to it. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of like working the 3 to 11 shift because you didn't have to really deal with a lot of the supervisors that you deal with in the daytime. You know. But then over the years, you know, we ended up getting some a-holes supervisors on the evening shift. So, you know, they started making changes, switching this body and that body and this kind of crap. People don't like to see you happy. They don't. And they would create an environment where you would not be happy and then you want to quit. You know what I'm saying? But you have to hang in there. You can't let people destroy you because that's what they're trying to do. And you see me, I'm a very headstrong person. I started from getting therapy, you know, I started learning how to control, you know, certain stuff, you know, anger and all that kind of stuff. But I'm a person, I cannot stand for BS. I just can't. I have to speak up, speak out. Sometimes I want to go swinging, but you can't do that because you'll get arrested. And me, I am not going to jail. I don't want to go to jail. But that's how I feel sometimes. Well, that's how I used to feel. I'm in a better place now. But it's a sad, cold world out there, I'm telling you. And people are something else. Like I just said, there's a lot of homeless out here, but not everybody is homeless. Not everybody is homeless, so don't let that fool you. a lot of them, they played a part. I met a couple of ladies that stayed in the shelter, because remember I told you I used to work in a shelter. I did security. I was supervisor, all different kind of stuff. And I met these two ladies. Both of them, their stories were different. But both of them, they told me they had their own house. They used to go home on the weekend and chill, but they just like coming, they like staying in the shelter because they could do whatever they want to do. I said, you can't do whatever you want to do in the shelter. You have rules here. Well, the things that they could do when they were there with the people that they met on the outside, they couldn't do it at their house because they had husbands and they had kids. And both of them used to do drugs. They used to do crack. So, they couldn't do it at their house. So being in a shelter, they have rules and stuff like that. But you could still go outside and hang with your friends that you met in there, and you can get high, drink, do whatever. You just have to be in at a certain time so you don't lose your bed. So both of them said that was their freedom, that was their outlet. I said, what a life. You're going to pretend that you need to be in a shelter? You pretending that you don't have nowhere to live when you do? I said, come on now. How y'all pull that off? Both of them looked at me and they winked their eye. I was like, oh my God, this is really sad. I said, there's people actually out there that need a bed, need some place to stay. And you too are actually getting over in the system. It's horrible. You know what they both told me? They said, you too smart for us. You too smart for us. I said, you darn right I'm too smart for y'all because y'all think y'all so smart and y'all not smart. But eventually, they got caught up to them. Both of them got put out. And then one of them passed away. She was from Trinidad. They say Tricky Trini. She was from Trinidad. She eventually died from AIDS because I used to see her in the neighborhood. And mind you, the shelter was far where I worked. But she lived around the neighborhood where I lived, so I used to see her. Her name was Patrice. She was a nice lady. She used to do shoplift. She used to shoplift. She used to come around the neighborhood and sell her little goodies, deodorants, lotion, all sorts of stuff. Got arrested several times, but they don't stay in jail for long. And how I met Patrice, I met her in the store around where I was living at on Nostrand Avenue. She was trying to sell me some lotion. And I told her, no, I'm good. So, that's how I found out that's what she used to do, because she said, I be getting stuff every day. I be having a lot of stuff, I be getting clothes, what size you wear, all this kind of stuff. And this is a lot of stuff. This is kind of stuff that you run into in New York. And I'm quite sure Chicago and different other places. But I can only speak about New York. And then, I met her in the shelter. And that's how I found out about her story, because she chit-chat. And, one day her husband was driving by. And he beeped the horn and she said, that's my husband right there. That's my husband right there. He ain't no good. And that's how I found out she was married. I was like, wow, you got a husband? That's when she came out and told me she has a house and kids and all this kind of stuff. And that's when I asked her, well, why are you staying in a shelter? And that's when she told me, well, I have more freedom going there than, at home. This stuff I can't do at home. So I was like, okay, but that's still not right. But then later on, I found out that Patrice passed away, and they said, she had AIDS. She died from AIDS. But when I used to talk to Patrice, she looked like she was sick. She didn't have those sores or whatever that comes out on your skin, like when people have HIV or AIDS or whatever. But she did look kind of sick. But like I said, she used to be doing the drugs. She used to smoke crack. I don't know about her taking needles and stuff because she never mentioned it. But sometimes lots of people don't mention that. And she was a very nice lady. She seemed to be. But, I was always being aware because you just never know. I just don't put my nose up like this to people because you never know what kind of situation you might fall into. That's me. But I just don't get down like they do. And the other lady, I met her at the shelter. But she got kicked out of there because she was hanging with the wrong crowd and she got kicked out. And the story with those two. But yeah, the difference here in Florida, yeah, they have homeless people down here too, but you don't see them a whole lot like you do in New York. You see them once in a while, but I guess, well, over there where I'm living at, and I don't live in no ritzy neighborhood, you might see one or two stragglers, but you don't really see a whole lot of them. You know what I'm saying? The bushy area that's next to my building, in which I told y'all in the video that the Mayor Demmons, a nice gentleman, he said he was going to clean that up, and they actually cleaned it up. And they call it the woods, and the other wooded areas, they clean all of that up. So nobody is living in the woods anymore, So that's where you used to see a lot of homeless people. And the drug addicts and the sellers and the buyers and whatever, they all used to be in these woods. And believe it or not, they had furniture up in there. I actually seen a leather furniture set, leather couch, 2 pieces. And, like when I took the bus, I would drive by some other wooded areas. So I would see stuff. Or if I'm walking, going to the UPS store, me, my eyes are always all over the place. So I would see stuff, But I mind my business. And then you would see these people coming out, walking out or whatever. They even take their showers up in there and stuff like that. They do all sorts of stuff in these wooded areas. I'm not saying that all the wooded areas are cleared up now, but most of them around where I used to travel, and I do travel there sometimes, are cleared. So that's a good thing. People don't have to worry about walking anywhere and somebody running up on them or whatever, pulling out a knife or a gun or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you still have to be careful and you have to be vigilant. But even downtown Orlando, you might see a few stragglers around, on the street by the library or some places. You know what I'm saying? But you don't see them a whole lot. It looks bad, but you don't see them a whole lot, And, the mayor, no, the governor, DeSantis, they passed, I believe it was a law that they cannot be sleeping out in the street and stuff like that anymore. So when you go down to the bus terminal, you don't really see them down there that much. Mind you, there's a shelter close by. So they all used to come over there and lay around over there on the benches and stuff like that, or underground. But you don't see that anymore. You might see, like I just said, a few stragglers, but you don't really see them. I don't know where they be going or whatever, but you don't really see them. It's a sad situation, but what can I say? Like I just said, a lot of people are not homeless. They played a part, and that is the honest truth. There was a young lady. She used to go on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan. Looked pregnant, but she wasn't pregnant. You know how they wear they have those belts that look like a belly, but it's not really like you pregnant. Well, she wore one of those. And it was this young lady that watched her. She watched her and she took her camera out and she videotaped her. She used to pull up a block away from Fifth Avenue, wherever the store is at, Saks, what, I don't know. One of them expensive stores, because Fifth Avenue is an expensive area. And she drove a white Mercedes Benz. This young lady, she videotaped it and she was putting it out there for people to be aware of this woman. She showed how the woman would pull up, put the thing around her stomach. She changed her clothes. She put the thing around her stomach, and then she parked her car, and then she walked around to the area on Fifth Avenue, and she would stay out there, and she would be begging for money. And she got a lot of money because, you know, people seeing a pregnant woman out there, you know, people feel sorry for you. So that's how she was making her living. Then she'll go back to her car, change her outfit, change her pregnancy outfit, put back on her nice clothes, and drive off. And she did this every day. So could you imagine where she was probably living, what she probably had, and how much money she was collecting? This was her job when the week come. Because she was out there from in the morning, like a 9 to 5 job. And this girl was videotaping her every day. So she was putting a warning out to the public. Now they have a lot of folks that's doing not exactly what she's doing, but a lot of them pretend. A lot of them. I saw this man on the train, the number 3 train, one time. The man looked like he was blind. He had the shades on, he had a cane, and he was walking through the cart. And you know how they take the cane and they feeling their way through? When this gentleman, and he wasn't young, when he got to the door, he took the shades and he raised it up like this. He opened the door and he went straight through like nothing was wrong with his eyes. As soon as he got into the next cart, he took them shades and put them right back on and was walking through there like he's this lost sheep. Yep. Then there was another time I saw this young man. He was on a skateboard. But he didn't have no legs. Just the bottom of his butt part was just sitting on the skateboard. He didn't have no legs. So he was moving it with his hands. Believe it or not, when the train stopped at Borough Hall, he wheeled himself out of that train cart. I don't know where his legs came from, but the legs appeared. He got up off of that skateboard. He picked it up in his hand and he walked right on up them stairs. Yes, he did. I saw this with my eyes. Lots of people saw this too. I was shocked. I said, well, where the hell he had his legs hiding at? We were all wondering. I used to give people money on the train. When I saw those two incidents, I stopped. Not even a dime. Not even a penny. I stopped. I said, you see this shit? Excuse me? You see this? Now, I could not go and play homeless for no amount of money in the world. That's just not me. But they have people out there, they don't give a damn. They would do whatever it takes to get what the hell they want to get, instead of going out there and getting a real job. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't homeless people out there. They are. But there are a lot of fake ones, okay? So y'all need to be careful out there. Stop handing out money to these people that's pretending to be homeless. You know, stop. Stop. And then there's a lot of homeless people that don't want to go in the shelters. They rather stay out on the street, be smelly or stinky and stuff like that, looking all dirty and stuff like that. They don't want to go in the shelters. They don't want to follow the rules. They don't even want to wash their behinds. So you cannot feel sorry for everybody, every homeless person you see out there, because a lot of them are not homeless. Many are, but a lot of them are not. It's just a big front. I feel sorry for a lot of people and stuff like that. But do these people feel sorry for me? Or do they feel sorry for you? Ask yourself that question. People, ask yourself that question. When you get the answer, you drop it in a comment, okay? You drop it in my comment. Don't get me wrong, they have a lot of homeless people out there. Real homeless people. I'm referring to the ones that falsify homelessness. That's who I'm talking about. Because you're making it look bad for the actual people that's homeless, that got burned out, got kicked out of their apartment, whatever the situation might have been. You're making it bad for these people. So people, you have to be wise. You have to be careful of who you go around feeling sorry for, or who you go around opening your bag and pulling out money or whatever. There was one situation, I think I mentioned it before in the video. This man and his family was in McDonald's. This was on Fulton Street. And they went into McDonald's. You know, they were sitting down. No, they were standing on the line ordering their food and stuff like that. This homeless man came in and he was asking for money. So the young man said, I will buy you whatever you want to eat, but I'm not giving you any money. He asked him what he wanted. He told him. But he said, I want the money. I don't want no food. The man bought the food for the man anyway. And when he handed it to him, guess what that man did? The homeless guy. Guess what he did? He pulled out a knife out of his pocket and he stabbed this man in his stomach. He was just going to town in this man's stomach. Blood was all over the place. Now, I wasn't there. One of my army buddies, because we had a meet that weekend, and he happened to go into the same McDonald's. So he came back and he told us the story. So I don't know if the man survived or not, but he witnessed all of this. He saw the police come, the ambulance, they took the man away. The hospital wasn't far away. St. Mary's, I believe, or St. John's Hospital. So he came back and he told us about that story. So he was telling each and every one of us, anytime you go anywhere, it doesn't have to be McDonald's or whatever, and any person come up to you asking you for food, for money, use your discretion. Use your discretion. You don't have to give them anything. And if you're going to give them something, give them what they ask for. Don't go volunteering, buying food for the person, and the person don't want no food, because you might end up like this man. What I would tell you, mind your own damn business. Don't give them SHIT. Don't give them SHIT, because they might put your lights out. I'm not trying to sound mean or whatever, but some of these people are very vicious. Vicious. So I'm going to end my video right now. Be careful out there. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of strangers. Be aware of family members. Be aware of so-called friends. Be aware, period. So on this note, have a good Tuesday. As you can see the gray clouds coming in. I don't know if it's going to rain, but I'm going to start running my mouth now. Peace out.